I'm a huge fan of IFS and EMDR together for deeper healing than either one just totally on their own. Hi, I'm Emma Coble. I'm a licensed professional counselor and I see clients in Colorado and in Florida. And EMDR and IFS, I think, are like a power couple of the mental health field. Um, Many people find, first of all, like talk therapy can be really helpful for understanding like the basics of your struggles, what's going on, some of the, the deeper wounding that might be here, family patterns, intergenerational trauma, things like that. And that is a really important, amazing thing. And sometimes people get stuck in that they have like a cognitive understanding of all of these things, but they feel like they can't heal it in their body, like whatever it is that is still coming up for them, they don't know how to heal it inside their body. And this is where I think EMDR is and IFS together are like a power combo for helping move things that are stuck inside of us. These are modalities that reach a lot deeper, that help heal the parts of you that maybe were wounded in childhood, that help the parts of you that are resistant to change or letting go feel like they can start to relax back. So we'll start with kind of IFS and what it is and how it is helpful for trauma. So IFS is internal family systems therapy, and it's based on it's made by Richard Schwartz, was the creator of IFS. But it's based on ideas from family systems therapy. So the idea is that inside all of us, there are families of parts. So we all have them. We're all multifaceted. And we all naturally have parts that are protectors, they're managers that are trying to help either keep us safe or help us find, some of the protective parts are not managers, but they're trying to help us feel some kind of relief. These are firefighter parts, so maybe the parts that engage in a self-destructive behavior at times. These parts are trying to like give us relief from something that feels overwhelming, that they're afraid we can't handle. And then we also have like child parts or younger exiled parts that hold deep pain or fear or sadness inside us. So oftentimes these protector parts are trying to protect the exiled child parts. And none of these parts are bad. They were all forced into roles at a young age, and they're all just trying to keep the system safe, but they've had to work too hard and too much a lot of the time. So what we want to do with IFS is allow you to get in touch with your self energy, so that you're sort of like the guiding parent in this world of all these parts, and that you're the safe place that's making these decisions and operating, and none of these parts has to like come in and like take over. As parts begin to like trust you and relax, this allows for a lot of deep internal healing. And EMDR is a modality that is somatic, that helps you heal trauma deep inside your body, and help you heal old wounds so that things no longer trigger you in the same way that they did before. So with EMDR, we're using bilateral stimulation, sometimes eye movements, moving back and forth, to activate parts of the brain, to help memories be stored as long-term memories, traumatic memories, so that they're no longer, our brain no longer thinks like, this is still happening, I'm not safe. Instead, it's able to kind of put it in its place and say, like, yeah, that happened in the past, but we're safe now. So this helps old memories sort of like lose their emotional charge. Like, we're able to put context to them, we're able to understand them better, understand sort of where they fit. Both of these modalities, IFS and EMDR, they're non-pathologizing. So they're saying like, this is not your fault. Like, the fact that you struggle with these things is not your fault. You did not cause this. And these symptoms are actually adaptive and protective, and they're trying to help you. Both of these therapies are also experiential. So you're not just sort of like sitting there talking, you're actually experiencing things in your body, you're noticing things in your body, and you're feeling things and you're processing through them rather than just talking. They're also emphasizing interconnection and safety as the foundation for healing. So this interconnection with yourself. What I like about these two combined is that I think IFS can bring some compassion and clarity to some spaces in EMDR. So for example, sometimes in EMDR, we will reach a point where a resistant part comes online and maybe makes it hard to process through an old memory. So maybe there's a self-critical part or a part that numbs us or something like that can come online and make it hard to process through, like, you know, maybe a trauma with sexual assault that happened when we were a child. So rather than, you know, just like bulldozing through that part, IFS gives us a framework and helps us understand this part, work with it very gently, not try and force it anywhere, understand what it's trying to protect, understand why and how long it has needed to be in that protective role. And this almost always, like with time, helps that part feel like it's safe to soften back so that we can get to processing the pain that's underneath. So I really like these combined. EMDR also gives like a resolution and a structure to internal family systems where there's a, like, we understand what the deep core wounds are, and then we have a framework and a somatic way of processing through those wounds. So EMDR and IFS together might look like we do this preparation and resourcing, so we understand what the traumas are and get a history and a timeline, and then we help you have some tools to keep yourself feeling grounded and safe during the session. So things like creating a safe place, coming up with allies who will be there with you as you're going through this processing. And then we might get a sense of like what parts are showing up, what parts are here, if there are any protective parts here that are making this difficult. And then we will start like the desensitization. And this is just kind of like a sample this might take place over a lot of different sessions, but we'll use the bilateral stimulation to process through these old wounds and memories. After processing, we will check back in with your parts and see how they are and what they're doing, how they're doing. So this can be offer a lot of like kind of cognitive healing and somatic healing at the same time. I think that this can be a really beneficial combo if you have complex or developmental trauma, or if you find yourself in some way getting stuck with like traditional EMDR where it feels like, you know, maybe you're not feeling much, or you're sort of hitting a wall that like, I just don't want to go there, I don't want to process this thing. Or if you have like numbness, dissociation, or you get flooded emotionally. Also, if you're struggling with like self-criticism, this can be a really good combo. It's a really gentle and direct approach at the same time. So if you are interested in exploring this more, please feel free to reach out for a free consultation, and thanks for listening.